y'all. So I'm just quickly popping in here. I look kind of crazy because I didn't really do my hair this morning, but whatever. It is the first week of cardiology. We're kind of doing review right now on things that I already know. I'm not sure if I said that already, but we're going over things like neurotransmitters, synapses, action potentials, and I believe I said this on the channel that I was formerly a psychology major. So a lot of this stuff is review for me, as I said. And I just feel like I'm trying to take advantage of that because I have more free time to study since I'm not studying as hard for these concepts. So I'm thinking about going ahead of the class schedule and getting my anatomy down, because I did take anatomy in undergrad, but my anatomy was mainly, sorry y'all, I'm all out of breath walking up the hill. I had a hard gym day yesterday. My anatomy was mainly on the MSK, musculoskeletal system, so I don't really have a foundation in anatomy for cardiology, in the heart, thoracic wall, all that stuff. I know maybe a few things on the thoracic wall, actually, just because, again, there are bones right there, your ribs and stuff. So I know about that much, but in terms of the types of veins and the arteries and how they form and where they're derived, I don't know none of that. So I think I'm going to try to get a head start so that way I'm not overwhelmed, especially when we do start learning about cardiac conditions, arrhythmias and such. Hold on, y'all, my dress is coming up. And I don't know how it's coming up because the dress goes all the way down to my kneecaps. You know what I mean? That just means I'm getting thick. Or at least I think that's what that means. But yeah, I'm actually late on my way to my social health systems class. And I really like this class because I am taking up a scholarly concentration in humanities. I've also been looking at applying to a lot more internships and things related to creating programs and stuff around humanities and social and health disparities. So I like this class a lot, and yet here I am late. So that's why I had time to pop in with y'all and check in with y'all. But I'm trying to think what else is kind of going on in this first week. I met my cadaver. So we have a cadaver lab. I believe the UNC School of Medicine has like 13 total donated bodies. It was kind of jarring. I didn't feel nauseous or anything, or like feel hesitant to look at the body, but you know, it's it's definitely a different feeling than obviously what I would do in a surgery, because that person is alive on the surgery table and my job is to keep them alive on the surgery table. Whereas with the cadavers, you know, these are prepped bodies. And I keep having to pull down this dress, y'all. Like, what is going on? Because it was not acting like that when I first put it on. Hold on. I'm about to get mad. It's because my backpack is rubbing against it. Let me try putting my backpack on all the way and see if that helps. Okay, yeah, that's what it was. My backpack was like pulling it down, and I was getting mad because like my legs are ashy. So people staring at me because I'm talking to my phone. I don't care. But yeah, I met the cadaver, like I said, very different than obviously what I would do in a real surgery. And when I was actually working for the federal government, I interviewed a embalmer, so somebody that preps the donated bodies for use at one of the schools of medicine. I'm not gonna tell y'all which one because obviously OSHA being there means that he was doing something wrong, so I'm not gonna tell you which one it was. But it just was interesting how he was explaining the process. And honestly, y'all, I just don't think that I could ever do that or be like a coroner or anything like that, because it's just different, the way that you have to like go about treating the donations and washing them and handling them. I just don't think that I could do that. So shout out to that man for doing that like every day. Well, not every day, because I think the donations only come in yearly, and I know that sometimes you cannot have donations at all in a given year. So it just is an interesting process very humbled and respectful of those family members who were willing to donate their loved ones' bodies to science, because I also noticed that there were not a lot of Black cadavers, African American cadavers, or, let me say African American, just Black racial bodies. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that, like, our families we're not gonna do that. Like, we're not gonna believe in that and do that. But I'll go into some details about that later, because I'm actually at the building now. All right, y'all, so this is Editor Z. As you can see, I'm going over, looking through the clip and everything. And for some reason, from this clip to this one, whatever I recorded is completely gone. So I'm just trying to add in what I looked like on Halloween so you guys can see that. And essentially, I was talking about how my car started acting crazy. I got sick, and then my car got sick and started acting funny. And I ended up spending about $750 just to get everything worked out and fixed out with my vehicle. It was my brakes. My brakes were really, really squeaky and loud. And I just wanted to make sure that I was safe and that, like, nothing was going to happen while I was driving. So I spent that money, I did that. And yeah, I just, again, wanted to come in here with the context since the clip is gone. Look at me, I'm over here recording, about to get myself in trouble on what I said. But yeah, I asked around and I was able to figure out a better pricing option in terms of what my car actually needs done at the moment, so it doesn't need as much work as maybe some of these quotes were saying. So I still am looking to pay a decent amount. I'm looking at paying about like $600, and as a student who doesn't work, that is just very stressful. That's a very stressful expense to have, especially for something that you need. It's not like I'm spending it on changing the color of my car, right? Like some type of car cosmetic. This is so that I can be safe. So I can't really avoid it. I thought that was a snake, and I like snakes, but not when they just sit and surprising me. And y'all was about to see me speed walk real quick. So yeah, that's kind of what has been going on in my daily life. I'm out here now at my car checking to see if I got a ticket, because apparently they're ticketing at my school, which is crazy because the university does not provide proper parking for students. And I think that's insane when we're paying so much money in tuition. I've shared that with y'all before, that I really dislike that about the school, and that asking about parking is actually something that students need to do when they're selecting a school, because at the end of the day, we all have different lives. I have not had a roommate since, what year was that? 2017. I don't like living with other people. I enjoy having my freedom and my space for multiple reasons, including my mental health. Y'all think I'm joking. I'm not. I get very worked up. I'm not going to go into details, but yeah, I can't live with other people unless we have an intimate relationship in which you understand me and you understand how I function and operate. I just can't live comfortably. So I'm, ouch. With that being said, I live by myself in a place that's kind of far away. So it's very, look at my phone about to die. It's very inconvenient to then have to pay, to park at my own school where I pay tuition and fees. Now it is free if you stay after 5 o'clock, but not every day am I trying to stay until 5 o'clock. Or I'm sorry, it's not 5 o'clock. They've actually changed it now to 3 o'clock. So that's a little bit better. But even then, sometimes I only have to come onto campus for one class. I might have to come to campus literally for 50 minutes. And it doesn't make sense then for me to have to take a 1 hour bus ride. You heard me, a 1 hour bus ride in order to come to campus for just 50 minutes. I'm literally on the bus for as long as I would be in class. So I just don't understand that. I don't understand why they don't provide the parking. I don't know. I think I'm also just used to my city areas buying out lots and properties near them. I told you all that I went to Morgan State, but Johns Hopkins wasn't that far away. Where else? Georgetown is like an hour away, and they buy up properties nearby in the neighborhood, and streets and things like that are commonly parked by students of the university. Same thing, I think, with University of Maryland, College Park. So I just don't understand why an institution like UNC Chapel Hill, which has, I know y'all have a lot of money, at least from y'all sports teams at the very least, why are y'all not buying lots and areas for students to park? Like, it's not making sense. So yeah, I think that's enough ranting and raving. I just wanted to share how I was feeling, because I feel like I come on here and I give y'all a lot of summaries, but I don't always check in with y'all live, like, throughout the week. And I think it's just kind of not cool, but important to share when I'm not feeling optimal and when I don't feel like going to class and when I am kind of struggling, because that's real and y'all need real. Y'all don't need people to sugarcoat and make medical school look like a fantasy la la land, because it's not. I love what I do. I love the fact that I'm here, but I do be struggling. And, you know, again, it just kind of weird to think how my mindset is shifting towards me being sick as an inconvenience versus me being sick and I need to take care of myself, right? Like, that's not a good shift in mindset. So I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna try to eat something warm and easy on my throat, and I'm gonna sleep. Okay, guys, so just a quick little recap of my day. I went into the OR, and I'm so sorry because I should have took a video or at least a picture of myself in my scrubs, but y'all, I got lost. So I was kind of panicking because I literally didn't know where I was going for like 30 minutes. And I wanted to make sure that I got in there into the room before the patient, because I feel like once the patient is in there, it's like, all right, game time. Like, we need to get it together and like focus. And now is not the time for a medical student to be poking in there and talking about, hello, I'm here to observe. So I was just freaking out trying to like find the room, but it was cool because I did get in there before the patient, and I was able to meet all of the nurses, the RNs, the scrub nurse, as well as the anesthesiologist. And quite honestly, those are some of the nicest people I have ever met. I don't know if that's always going to be the case for every single surgical team, but they were all really, really nice. And it was kind of cool because they were all women. And before y'all be like, what does that have to do with anything? It has a lot to do with everything, because, you know, it's a male dominated specialty, like going into surgery, especially the surgery that I'm interested in. Although the surgery I observed today, I believe is categorized as general surgery, because it was a umbilical hernia repair. So it was only about an hour and a half long. So I'm pretty sure that's under general surgery, but still that tends to be a male dominated area, like surgical specialties, period. So it was just really nice that like everybody in the room who was involved with it were women, except for one person, obviously one guy. And it was, as I said, it was only an hour and a half. I can't say that like I learned much, just because I didn't know exactly what I was looking at. Obviously, I have not gotten to that section of the body yet. I believe maybe I might learn some of that stuff. I don't know when I will get to dermatology, but I don't believe that it's this year. So I just was kind of watching and observing to see how minimally invasive surgery has actually become. They really try their best to stay within like a very, very small concentrated area, which I like, because at the end of the day, you're doing damage to the body. Like, even though, yes, you're trying to fix it, you have to rip it up, cut it up first. And the less that you can do that, like the smaller the area, the better. So that was very interesting to watch and observe. The smell was crazy. I need to put that in here. Y'all, that is something that I'm going to have to be getting used to, because the smell of burning skin, I can't even begin to describe it. Like, my eyes started watering. That is how strong that smell was. I was like, oh, the smell of the skin and the fat, like, oh gosh. Visually, I wasn't really bothered. I think once I got over it, because at first I was like in disbelief. I was like, oh my gosh, like they're really cutting into this person. Once I got over that, I was fine. I have been told that a lot of people tend to get faint, like they tend to get like a little woozy. I don't really think I'm gonna have that problem. I think I more so may have like a metaphobia, right? Like people getting nauseous, like that might make me a little queasy. But seeing like blood and skin and things like that, not really. So I was fine to watch it, but I started standing next to the anesthesiologist, and the anesthesiologist, because the surgery was being done on the lower half of the body, the upper half of the body has to be kept warm to maintain, like, you know, thermal heat, since they're opening the skin. And they use this machine called a bear hugger. And y'all, it was so, hear me. It was so hot by that machine that I thought I was gonna faint. I started sweating, and I'm easily affected by the temperature. Like, I don't know if I have thin blood or what. I don't know. My family used to say that. Like, I'm not anemic, but we always say, like, we have thin blood in the family. And I was so hot that I needed to leave from where I was at. Like, I left by the anesthesia area and had to go sit down because I was so hot. I was like fanning myself. So they were like making sure I was okay because they thought that I was getting faint. They're like, yeah, you know, some people get really woozy and nauseous, and the first sign is that they get hot. And I was like, oh no, that's not it. It just was really hot right there. Like I was very hot. I also think that I need to make sure that I hydrate a lot better, because something that I am gonna have to get used to is standing for long periods of time. Y'all, my back started hurting, my knees was hurting, and I'm just sitting here thinking like, wow, like not me being physically fit, but clearly not taking care of my muscles and my joints. So yeah, stretching, foam rolling, yoga, I'm gonna have to start implementing that into my daily for sure, because there's no way that I'm gonna be able to stand for 8+ hours in a surgery room. Well, maybe I'll be so focused because I'll actually be doing stuff rather than just standing around and watching. But I know for a fact that during my residency training, I'm probably not always going to be touching stuff. I probably am going to be needing to observe and just stand. So that's something that I just was thinking about, like, wow, I'm going to have to get used to this if this is what I'm interested in doing. I also think that I might, listen, hear me. I might, like, un poquito, be interested in anesthesia. I just didn't know that they did all of that stuff. She was telling me how the anesthesiologist was telling me how you actually paralyze the muscles and like paralyze the body during surgery, which conceptually that makes sense, but I just never really thought about it in that manner. Like, I know you go under anesthesia, you go to sleep, but I didn't know that they actually like relax your entire body as needed to a semi paralytic state. I also did not know that they administer pain medication, analgesics. Y'all, my pronunciation is not the best. Analgesics. I didn't know that. Obviously, I'm sure that it would hurt when you first wake up, like you just got cut into. So once again, conceptually, I suppose that makes sense, but I never really thought about it. So I didn't think that all of those things were what anesthesia was in charge of. So that was just pretty cool. She was showing me all the machines and all the other things. And to be honest, like, she just looked like she just had a nice, calm time. And quality of life is something else that I've been thinking about and considering with these specialties. As much as I love orthopedics, or rather, as much as I love like sports injuries and sports medicine and working with specific populations, I also do want to be very considerate of like my lifestyle, as well as like my work-life balance. So just seeing her just look relaxed and smiling, and you know what I mean? Like, you would not think that we were there at like, what was it? 10 in the morning, you know what I mean? And she probably was there way before that. So just seeing her versus the other people in the room, as well as like other surgeons that I have run into and that I have met, totally different vibe, totally different aura. And, you know, I'm sure that sis be sitting down playing Sudoku or something, because if she doesn't need to get up and adjust anything, or if the anesthesiologist doesn't need to get up and adjust anything, I'm sure that they can just sit there and like not think about much. So yeah, I was actually thinking about getting her contact information to talk to her and follow up with her later. And I still might, because I want to, as I am in the OR, I do want to see what other specialties are kind of involved in the process. Because maybe I don't have to be the one behind the scalpel. Maybe I could be interested in doing some other stuff. And I'm very open to learning that. So I think that's it in terms of this experience. I did just want to insert this clip to share with y'all before, not I forgot, but this is fresh on my brain versus trying to tell y'all about it days later. Today's Wednesday. Tomorrow I have my clinical skills encounter, as I mentioned in a previous clip somewhere that I probably and hopefully have already inserted. So I'll let you guys know how I do with that. I'll record myself per usual. I actually need to go and get out my clothes for that, because I just reminded myself. And I also need to do my hair, because I am not about to pull up to my clinical skills encounter with the set it off braids. We are not going to do that. So yeah, I'm going to go do that, and I'll check in with you guys probably tomorrow. Okay, guys, so please ignore the mess that's in the background. I was cleaning, but I wanted to check in with you guys and let you know that this week I am in need of a bit of like an emotional and mental reset. I unfortunately failed my first exam, as well as my clinical skills assessment. And I wasn't expecting that. I unfortunately caught I don't know if I can say it. Let me stop myself because YouTube has weird little trigger and flag warnings on videos about specific subjects. So I caught the virus for the 3rd time this year. Okay. I don't know what's been going on. I don't know why I keep attracting it, but yeah, I caught it for the 3rd time this year. And because it was the 3rd time, I didn't think that it would be as symptomatic as it was. I was feverish. I had no appetite. I was exhausted. I was falling asleep, like going to sleep all the time, like for whole days, whole 24 hours. It was bad. Like my throat, I couldn't swallow. And in hindsight, I should have just went ahead and moved my exam back because I kept trying to attend a lot of the mandatory things that we had in class. And that was dumb. Like, I should have just been like, hey, look, y'all, I understand that I have requested off for other stuff, but like, I'm actually really sick and I just shouldn't be coming to these events. But I was trying to go despite how crappy I felt. And because I was showing up, I felt like I couldn't push back my exam because I was showing up. Like, you get what I mean? Like, it was kind of like I wasn't sick enough to be absent from all the events. So therefore, I can't be absent for any of the events. That's how I was feeling. And that just makes no sense. That was just some foolish logic that I put on, and foolish logic and pressure that I put onto myself that I should not have, because y'all should have stayed home. So I took the exam. I was feeling like, man, like I really did not have a chance to go over half of this material. I already knew that I probably wasn't going to pass as I was taking it. And because this was a home style exam and not an NBME style assessment, I don't actually get to take the exam again. I will just have to do better moving forward. Like, I literally cannot do anything about the grade that I received. I also, unfortunately, had some troubles with my clinical skills assessment. That really threw me off and really kind of depressed me because, and y'all know I don't use that word lightly. Like, no, like I actually needed to call my therapist and like talk about how I was feeling, because I was feeling extremely negative and down on myself, demotivated, like just really bad. I'm just realizing, y'all, that I can't be like that, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to be perfect at everything, and there really may be times where I fail at stuff. It's not as if I haven't experienced hardship before and like I don't know how to recover from when like I'm not giving my best performance. I guess it hit me hard because I just don't, it was so random. It wasn't like I went through something and it was like, all right, several days and months or however long that I'm just emotionally not in the right space. Like I caught a random virus and then just have been trying to recover since. It just caught me off guard, it blindsided me, and I just didn't think that it would affect me this much. And that's not me trying to make excuses, because at the end of the day, again, there's nothing that I can do about it now. I just have to do better. So I'm just gonna work on motivating myself, patting myself on the back, giving myself grace without giving myself, as I said, excuses. Like I'm going to make sure that I do better. I'm going to put in some extra elbow grease and make sure that I pass this block with, a good grade. You know what I mean? Like I really want to emphasize to y'all that on all of my blocks, even the blocks that I didn't really like, even the blocks where I thought I was doing horrible, I just checked today, your girl has been getting A's and B's, like overall. Even though it's pass fail, I still get to see my overall block grade, and I have been doing well. So this is the first time that I'm really like starting off kind of like this is not good. So I'm just trying to, again, motivate myself, tell myself I have time. I got this. I'm going to do it. I just bought myself this book at Walmart. I'll put it up on the screen somewhere. I just bought this book so that I can kind of just refocus my brain every day onto just calming down and getting it done. Because at the end of the day, there's nothing I can do about things that have already occurred. I can't go back in time and tell myself not to take my exam. I can't go back in time and, like my car has been messing up. I can't do anything about that, right? I can't go inside my car and be like, hey, stop costing me. How much have I spent? $850. Like, don't cost me $850. Like life be lifing. Life happens. And this is just a learning moment for myself. A teachable moment to myself, that when life be lifing, I gotta get up, stand up, and roll with it and keep moving. I cannot shut down. I cannot let these events affect the next event. I have to just do better. And I am. I'm going to do better. I'm gonna just take the day to kind of relax because I was gonna go into hyper study mode. But honestly, I do want to take some time just to sit in my feelings and just sit and acknowledge, like, you know what, this sucks. I don't like this. I don't like I do not like showing up the way that I am. This is not who I want to present. This is not how I want to represent. This is not who I want to be and how I want to be seen by my instructors, by my peers, you know. And before y'all say, oh, you know, it's not that deep, like that doesn't really matter, nobody else. This is just how I am. I want to be able to go into rooms and be a light. I want to be able to go into rooms and set examples. I like to show up as the best version of myself possible every single day because I know that I have the ability to do it. So I'm just trying to give myself time and just being like, all right, like this past, 2 weeks of the block, you've been showing up as 60% Janae, and there are reasons why you have been showing up as 60% Janae, and you're not gonna stay there. You're gonna get up and you're gonna go back, and it's gonna be great, and it's gonna be okay because this is life and this is gonna happen. So yeah, I'm sorry that was kind of like a rambling moment. I just wanted to show you guys that like, I don't always have it together. And as well as showing you guys a different side of me, like I'm hoping that I come off as more positive and not as negative, because I've noticed in my past few videos, I feel as though I sound a bit pessimistic, and I don't like that because I don't want to speak that into the universe over anybody, including myself. So here is me trying to come in with good energy, and hopefully next week when I update you all on how things have been going, I'll have great things to say. I have my anatomy practical on December 1st, so being in the cadaver lab and pointing out different structures. And then I have my second exam on December 5th. So yeah, I'm gonna check back in with you guys and let y'all know how everything is going. And speaking it over myself, it will be going well. Okay guys, so I just got done retaking my assessment, and I think this one went a lot better just because I was, is this the exit? No, it's not. I think this one went a lot better just because I was a lot calmer. Like I told you guys that I have been pretty mentally distressed as of late. So today I just kind of, oops, sorry. Put up, y'all. Ooh, it's cold out here. Ooh, it's cold out here. Ooh, it's cold out here. Okay. Whew. Look at that. A little transfer. Okay. Because baby, one thing I'm gonna do is beat this face. But yeah, today I felt a lot better than the first time, just because I went and I got my driver's license, my new license for down here. And I think I just was kind of chilling. And like I said before I started walking outside, y'all know that I said that I've been a little bit thrown off my game, just with everything, my results, my attitude, my motivation levels, like everything. I just been a little off. So I think today I was just finally getting back to normal, getting back to me. I'm definitely about to spend the rest of my day studying because I'm actually in a pretty good spot right now. I have a pretty solid understanding of everything that we've learned in class except for one concept, and I don't care what nobody says, it was because it was poorly explained. I'm so sorry if the professor who taught it watches this. That's just my opinion. That is nothing against you. I just, you know, I'm gonna need a little bit more help. Wow, my lips are like super pink. My lips are like super pink. I tried to take off my my lipstick, and it like, not my lipstick, my lip gloss and stuff, and it like didn't really work. So that's kind of funny. Look at the hair, look at my hair. But yeah, I'm about to go home and study, get everything pretty much under my belt, so that way I don't have to worry about like, oh gosh, I don't know this or I don't know that, because we are about to start hitting some, y'all, I can't even say complicated concepts, just more involved concepts. We're starting to go into details about like conditions and disease processes. So I just want to make sure that like I'm not behind, or that like I'm not trying to like catch up or teach myself. Like, no, I want to be solid on everything going into tomorrow. So yeah, I'm about to spend all night pretty much going over things because I don't have anything to do on campus until like 10 o'clock tomorrow. And that's not pretty late, but like I can do 10 o'clock. So I'm probably gonna stay up and get that done. I think that's about it. Yeah, I just want to check back in with y'all and let y'all know, like I said, It just was the nerves. I'm telling y'all, I did a lot better. I made sure that I didn't miss any questions, okay? I was asking everything. Have you gotten vaccinated? I was asking about the family history. I asked about allergies because the last time I forgot to ask about allergies, and I don't ever do that. So that's how I knew I was a little bit frazzled. So I made sure I asked about that. What else? What else did they say I missed? The diet. Made sure I asked them about the diet. They talking about, told me they had specialized diet. What else? Yeah, I don't know, but I didn't miss nothing. Oh, and my review of systems, which I have never really been good at review of systems. I'm not gonna lie, just because I feel like I don't know anything about the body systems to know like what stuff goes with what. Yeah, to know what stuff goes with what. And you only need to ask about three of the relevant systems. So I made sure that I asked about like muscles, so like in musculoskeletal, cardiovascular, and then I believe I also asked about neurological. What else? I know I asked about other like HENT, like head, ear. I don't know what the other E is for. Head, ear, something, and throat. So I should get a good grade this time. And if I don't, if they tell me that like for whatever reason I didn't pass it again, at that point I would just be like, all right, so y'all have been telling me nothing but lies, because y'all have been giving me 97s, 98s prior to this assessment. So if all of a sudden I am just not satisfactory, that's because y'all have been telling me that I have been learning it well enough up till this point. And if that's the case, like y'all have lied to me and something needs to be done, and it's not my fault. So yeah, we speaking good things into existence this time around. I don't even know what I'm looking at. I'm not even looking at the camera. I'm like looking at my screen. But you know what? I'm done rambling. I just wanted to let it be known that like your girl did better this time around. Your girl did better this time around. Yeah. Okay, y'all. So I am checking in. It is now exam week. Well, yeah, it's exam week. Tomorrow I have my anatomy practical, and I don't know if I already recorded myself saying this. Bro, I never remember what I record myself saying. I make these videos really sporadically. I have no type of organization. I just be recording, guys. So I'm sorry. But I feel pretty good on my anatomy strength. And I'm not saying this to say it lightly, because I actually looked at my first couple of clips where I told you all that I was feeling pretty confident going into the block, just for me to then come back and say that I haven't been doing well in the block. But seriously, in terms of anatomy, I've been doing a lot of practice. So that's why I feel confident, not just blind confidence or, okay, I knew this already. No, I've been going to the cadaver lab, getting my practice in, identifying all of these structures, making sure that I know like what is what and where is where. This is my second time going, and we spent about an hour and a half going over everything. So I believe that I'll be able to identify all of the things that my instructor is going to tag and label, because there's only 20 of however many I actually ran through with my group of friends. So I'm also probably going to make like a Quizlet or something to practice the location, as well as adding information on what the structures do, because I do have I do have another exam coming up on Monday. It is NBME board style. So I just want to make sure that I'm covering all of my bases, because y'all, I literally cannot afford to fail anything else moving forward, because I did share with you all my grades kind of at the beginning of this block. So I literally have to pass everything. And I know that sounds crazy to even say out loud, like, well, duh, girl, you should be passing things. But just, it's different, right? Like in my other blocks, when I was doing perfectly fine, when I was getting good grades, I didn't really have any type of mental pressure on myself, because like I knew I was passing. But now it's like, okay, the pressure is here, and I just really wish that wasn't the case. I really hate mentally exhausting myself and mentally working myself up, because I know how I get. But so far I think I've been pretty chill about it, because y'all, I'm gonna do however I do. I can only prepare and try my best. That's all I got. No amount of stressing, no amount of worrying, no amount of pressure is going to make me perform better than how I'm going to perform. I also told you guys I think it was last video that I've been trying to get back into my routine. So every morning now, I'm waking up, I'm doing my meditations, I'm doing my yoga, listening to my church music, my gospel. And I'm just trying to get myself in a better mental state because y'all, yeah, I'm definitely burnt out. This semester was just really long, really tiring, just jumping right into all of this work. And I just know next semester, I'm hoping that I'll be able to go back into it rejuvenated and feeling good from the well-deserved winter break that I'm going to have. It's 2 weeks long. We're off from December, 2 weeks long? Yeah, December 16th to January 2nd. And I just really pray that when I come back, I'm feeling in a more rejuvenated spirit, as I said, because I have a lot of things coming up this spring semester. I'll be in a case-based learning class. I've also been accepted into an intermediate Spanish class. I believe I will also be looking into doing some work research with my mentor. Like I just have a lot more things on my plate. I am getting more and more accustomed to studying. I think every time I tell you guys that my study methods are getting better and better, but I'm being so serious. I feel as though I can only learn as I go. And right now, I'm just taking more active recall type of notes. I'm not sitting there writing these long paragraphs or listening to these long lectures or going into Anki, doing flashcards blindly and trying to force myself into memorization of information. No, like I'm actually reading and only making flashcards. Like that's it. Like I read, I get the main point, like, okay, what was the main point of what I just read? I make 2 or 3 flashcards on it and I keep pushing. And I'm so serious. Like I could read 10 pages and still come out with only 2 or 3 flashcards. And I don't mean 2 or 3 flashcards that are filled with just crazy volumes of information. No, I find the main point. I find details that are key. So important dates, not dates, but timelines. So right now we're doing congenital heart disease. I have a quiz tomorrow on congenital heart defects, and a lot of like the embryologic development of the heart occurs at specific times. So when the heart starts beating, whether the blood circulation can begin at like week 4. So I'll put that as a flashcard and make sure that I just know those key details, because at this point it's just no use trying to flood my brain with all of these minor details. It's just not helpful. It's not conducive to my learning at the time. I just think that those minor details are relevant if I'm escaping the concept, like if I'm reading something and the concept is just lost on me. So for example, I do kind of struggle with cholesterol synthesis, so I'm probably gonna have to actually really watch a video and take a lot of details on that, because for whatever reason I'm just not grasping, what apple protein B100 is supposed to be on versus C2. Like those details are just lost on me. So I'm probably gonna have to sit and spend more time on that. And I'm just learning what stuff actually deserves my attention versus what stuff I'm doing because I think I need to do it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to come in here and check in with you guys because, as I said, it is kind of exam time with my whole practical tomorrow and then the exam on Monday. So I'll probably check back in on Tuesday or Wednesday to let you guys know how I did, as well as trying to just check in with you guys during my break, letting you guys know what I did for fun. I'm hoping that I can go and visit my friends. My mom came down here for the holiday and I really enjoyed that. I didn't realize just how much I missed being around, like, not familiarity, because my friends here are familiar to me, but just getting that sense of home, that home comfort. So I do want to go back. That drive is something serious though. I think it's like 5 hours. And before y'all be like, that's not that bad. That's bad for me. Okay, that's bad for me. I don't really like driving. I don't enjoy it. I fall asleep behind the wheel a lot. I get it from my dad. My dad falls asleep behind the wheel when he drives. So if I can avoid driving up there and maybe seeing how much like a train ticket costs, I might do that. I don't know, but something will need to be done, because I am not going to continue to be here feeling lonely and sad. I want to visit my friends. I want to visit, some other people. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, let me just wrap this up, because I didn't even realize this video is like 7 minutes long. And I'm sure that this one, because cardio is such a long block, it's 7 weeks. I'm sure that I'm gonna have like a lot of information and whatnot in this upcoming upload. So peace out. All right, y'all. So y'all see it. Eyes puffy, nose stuffy, room a mess, because your girl just got done having a good crying session. I debated on whether or not I wanted to upload this, but damn it, I think it's important, because I think a lot of times in the medical space, we talk so much about how to win, how to get these grades, how to do great on the MCAT, how I did this and studied for 16 hours and, finished at the top of my class. Like, we spend so much time talking about that and not enough time talking about the process of failure, because I think it is impossible for everybody to just go through life perfectly fine. Like, they have never stumbled. They have never failed. And I think that it just does a disservice and an injustice to not equip people with a way to stand up. I'm very thankful that I have mentors. I'm very thankful that I was a track and field athlete, and this is not something that's unfamiliar to me, and that I know how to get up when I've been knocked down, and that I'm okay being knocked down. I may not be okay right away, because like I said, I was bawling my eyes out. I was very upset. But I feel like there's nothing I can do about it. I studied. I tried. And now I'm identifying weaknesses and things that I need to do better with moving forward. And that's all I can do. I also am learning about the thief of comparison. The comparison being the thief of joy. There it is. Worrying about how my friends did. Worrying about, whether or not I'm going to be competitive for orthopedic surgery specialties. Telling myself, oh, I'm not deserving of my scholarship. All of those things are comparisons that have no place and serve no purpose, because my failures are going to look completely different than somebody else's, and they may happen at completely different times. I may be struggling now and be doing amazing later in what somebody else struggles with, because that's how life goes. And I needed a moment to remind myself of that my test ends up being a testimony in the future. And that until I get some type of letter telling me I am not going to be a physician, that's not a thing. There is nobody telling me that right now. That's not the reality that I live in. So why am I thinking that? Nobody has came over and said, oh, unfortunately, because you're struggling in cardiology, you cannot be an orthopedic surgeon. Nobody said that. Oops. Nobody said that. And I think that that's kind of a downfall, as I said, of the medical community and the medical space, is that we don't normalize talking about these issues, the losses and the failures and the hiccups and the bumpy roads and the I don't like this and I'm not doing so great. We don't talk about that enough. So I wanted to come on here and talk about it. And I also know that this is such a small problem, right? Because as I told you guys before, there are people who have to restart their entire year. And even that, they're going to come back and they're going to try again and they're going to keep going. And I just want to be a person of grit. I want to be a person of resilience, to where I can say, yeah, I didn't do so great sometimes. I got knocked down. It was hard. I didn't like it. I cried, but I'm here now. That's what's most important to me. So I'm going to go eat. I'm going to take my butt to the gym. And when I come back from the gym, I'm going to sit down and I'm just going to study for the rest of the assessments that I have left. I have 3 more quizzes and the final. And the only thing that I can do is try my best and try to score as high as I can, because I can still pass the block despite me not having done so well on some of these grades and some of these assignments, so long as I get certain scores. And that's what I'm going to aim for. I'm going to aim to pass, because once again, that's all I can do. Yeah. So I'm glad that I did decide to come up here and record and share with you all. Despite the fact that it was such a hard decision for me. I look crazy. Because I think it's real. And I hope that my channel is one of those spaces and one of those places where the process is prioritized over perfection, where progress is prioritized. Because being perfect and being spotless and being a genius and all of that is exhausting. And I just don't think that we can all continue to run away from failures and instead it would do us much better to learn how to roll with them. So here's me rolling, and I'm finna roll out. Okay, y'all, so I'm here at the school. I just got done with PCC because it's from 2:30 to 5. It is a pretty long course because, again, we're practicing our clinical skills. And I didn't feel like fighting the traffic today. That is like peak traffic hours in North Carolina, especially in the Chapel Hill area. And, you know, I live closer to Durham. So that's like crossing the highway that is congested and slow moving, and I just don't feel like it. So I'm gonna make this some study time, some dedicated study time, so that way when I go home I actually don't have to study at all. That's the plan, at least. But we'll see how it actually goes, just because the content isn't a lot, but I want to make sure that I'm getting all of the proper details, and I feel like that's just going to take me some time. So I still might end up studying a little bit at home, but nowhere near as like much as I would had I not stayed here. Because y'all, I'm really trying to dedicate my weekends to reteaching myself the material from these past couple of weeks, because this, like I said, this block was 7 weeks long, so I need to go back over like week 1 and week 2 material and like really making sure that like I know what the heck I'm talking about, and also utilizing Anki better, because I've noticed that I don't do that great of a job with like flagging and tagging like I should, you know. So flagging cards as like a, okay girl, you didn't know what the heck this was about, so flag that because it's a topic you're going to need to go back and review. And I just have spent a lot of time thinking about how to better approach my application skills, as I recorded in the last clip with tears in my eyes. So we're gonna see how it goes. I just wanted to check in with you guys and let y'all know that, as well as show you guys that I look so cute today in my little preppy outfit. That's really the reason I got on here and recorded it, for being honest. So yeah, let me shut up so I can go home. Okay, y'all, so I know that I said that I said I was gonna record some more videos rather than letting the whole 7 weeks of cardio go by, but I was drowning, as you probably gonna see from the other clips in the video. I was really going through it this block. I did not think that I was gonna pass, and that's not like, oh, I know y'all can't even, there we go. And that's not even me being negative. I seriously just was not making the grade this block and this time around. I think in a clip I talked to y'all where I said that I had gotten sick, and just mentally I just was not in the best space. So I just was praying that I made it through, because I have some internships and some other things that I want to do this summer, and repeating a block would mean that I'll have to come back in the summer for like 14 days, which isn't that bad. I actually thought it was the whole summer. So knowing that it's more like a crash speed course, I guess is okay. But no matter what, I didn't want to have to do that, just on the off chance that my internships told me like no, you can't do that. So I was really, really worried, but your girl passed. One more time. Your girl passed. Sorry, I'm trying to do this like vlog style. I'm making dinner. I'm gonna make steak, roasted potatoes, and corn. So that's what I'm running around doing. But yeah, I am very excited that I passed. You know, I really can't take any credit for that. I think that was just straight up God, because I passed and my overall block score was like a 70.4. Okay, 70.4. It was that close. I'm not sure if I ever explained to you guys how the grading system works specifically, but essentially you have exams. I want to say every block is only 3 exams. Whether or not it's home style versus MBME board style is up to like the block director's discretion. Most of the time it's 1 homegrown exam and then 2 NBME exams, because the final is always NBME style. And you have to pass the block overall with a 70, and then you have to pass the final with a 70. So that means you could get, let's say in the class, you have all of these different quizzes and other things, labs, things like that, and you get 80 something. So you can have like an 80% in the class because of your other coursework, but then you go and you take the final. I know y'all can't see me, sorry. You go and you take the final and you get a 65 on the final. You would have to take the final again. You wouldn't have failed the block, but because you failed the final and it wasn't above the 70, you would have to retake it. And that's the only exam that you can retake. I know I told you all that. So if you failed any other exams, like too bad, so sad, you don't get to take those over again. And then obviously that negatively impacts your grade. So yeah, I passed the final by the hairs on my chin. Actually, no, I actually passed with more than a 70, but still, I didn't think the grade that I got was enough to turn over my other grades in the class. Like I said, I genuinely thought that this was an L that I took and I was gonna have to take that one to the chin. So, I'm just really, really happy that I made it. I don't ever wanna be that close to failing again. So I definitely wanna make sure that I'm doing better in terms of my studying. Sorry. Un momento. Yeah, I definitely want to do better. I'm just trying to commit myself to one study method. I told you all before that I wasn't really taking notes, and I'm still not. But I'm definitely trying to get better at using Anki because I've just noticed that like when I do get through, I do watch lecture now on 2x speed just to get any minute details. Yeah, any minor or minute details that come up in the lecture, because now my lecturers, they be acting funny and putting in MB&Me style like gimmies, like, oh, you should probably know this, because they're probably going to pick a question that's related to that topic, even though we didn't learn it like all week. Like they'll randomly drop information for us to know like the day before the final. So I started watching lecture just to make sure that I don't miss any of those like, oh, by the way moments. I watch it on 2x speed. I watch my third-party materials primarily still. And I have been doing fine when I do that, because then I'll go to Anki and I'll get all of those cards done pretty quickly because I've just looked at the material. So that's what I need to stay on top of doing, because I'd be messing up. I'll be watching Anki. I'll be trying to do Anki 3 days prior to the exam, and I have like 1,000 cards from 10 days worth of lecture. So, you know, I can't be doing that. I just need to start on this much earlier, do much better with my time management. But overall, this was just a very, very challenging block, not even just for me, but even in past years, a lot of the students were telling me that their classmates failed. I spoke to a lot of people who did have to remediate over the summer for this block. So I'm trying not to take it too personally and do too much adjusting, because at the end of the day, I've been fine prior to this block. And I also know I just had like a lot of personal struggles, like mentally, emotionally, physically. My best friend got into a car accident. The best friend that I uploaded before for my birthday vlog. I'm not sure if I told you guys that already. If I did, like, I'll edit it and make it make sense. But yeah, he got into an accident and he wasn't doing so well at first. So I just mentally was not in a good space for pretty much half of this block. So yeah, I don't really want to say too much, because I think I did do a good job at documenting myself over this block, especially like the mental and emotional section that I usually do. So I guess I can just briefly, did I already get into the logistics for this block though? I feel like I did. I told you guys that I had anatomy lab, so this is the first introduction into anatomy, was through this block. I like anatomy a lot. I knew that I would, because obviously the specialty that I'm interested in is pretty much the body layout. It's pretty much mostly anatomy. So I liked it. I did well on it. What else? What else was going on in this block? The small groups were okay. Literally nothing more, nothing less. They were just okay. I don't really like them. I've been told you guys that. I don't really like them. So I'm very excited that we're gonna get new small groups next semester. And I'm hoping that maybe once I get new group mates, and no offense to the group mates who are potentially watching my channel, the group dynamic just was not very group-like, and that's a waste of my time. Don't have me in here doing group work and we're not actually moving as a group. So wasn't really a fan this semester. Hopefully that changes next semester, but we'll see. I'm not really crossing my fingers, especially with it being 8 in the morning. Like, ew. So I think that's it in terms of block logistics, because it really is no different than any other block. There was nothing added other than the lab. So I think that's pretty much it, y'all. This is a long upload, so I think I just need to shut up and stop talking. And you know, yeah, I'll probably break this clip down and insert it into another video rather than trying to tack it onto this, because I do want you guys to see me cook. I do want to do a little vloggy vlog, so I'm gonna do that. Anywho, that's enough. I will see you guys later in my next upload. As always, thank you so much for the support, the likes, comments, shares, subscriptions. And if you're not subscribed, you should, because I think it's pretty lit over here. We keep it real, we keep it honest, we keep it great. And as always, I appreciate everything you guys do for my channel. Adios. Okay, get my clean.
I have nothing in it, but I just want to tell.
So, clean. Damn, it's about to burn.